Sorry about that, guys. I had to pause it quick. There's a little bit of noise on my end. So I met with this other client that I had, and I've had her for a long time. I've actually known her for a while, several months, and she's just making really, really bad choices. And so she's talking to me and she's telling me, I'm in residential and everybody hates me and keeps putting me in here and telling me, all of these things. And I asked her really hard questions. I really pushed her because she has this tendency to put the blame on everyone else and really ends up back in the same situation. And I said to her today, I said, you really have this tendency to do this. I said, nothing will ever change in your life because you're the common denominator. And I really did tough love today. I really pushed her. It was a test of our relationship. It was a test of the stuff that we've talked about already and what she's shared with me, because she's quite sensitive and depressed right now. And I took a chance because I knew that she needed to hear it. Both of these cases, I could tell that they probably needed to talk about this situation, but recognized from, just from experience and knowing the client where the relationship was at and at the point where I knew I couldn't test it. So one of the clients, I said very little. I just changed the subject. I said, oh, that's fine. If there's stuff you don't want to talk about, let me know. But the other one, she tried to deflect and tried to change the topic. And I said, no. I said, you have a life ahead of you. And I really pushed her to see her future and really pushed her to see herself as responsible for her health and her wellness and her life. Because she's really kind of been on the brink of being very unhealthy and hurting herself through lack of diabetes care. Her numbers are like well over 600. And I said, that's a form of self-harm that you're not caring for yourself. And we really talked about that as far as, her eating habits in her life and the reason she's back in residential again, that there's a lot of adults who are afraid for her. So I think my question this week, and the reason I bring up these two very different cases are, what are some ways that you guys know when to push and when to hold? Because I think for me, it felt a little instinctual. I've known this other client for a while. We've already had really tough conversations, and she came back around. I knew that likely she would. It was a risk, but I knew that it was really important that she hear some of these things, and as an almost 18-year-old, start to think about her life as her responsibility, not the adults. And so I pushed her. The other girl, I knew that our relationship was too new, and that really pushing her to talk about something she wasn't ready to talk about yet would end our relationship completely. And so I wasn't ready to test it with her. But what are some ways that you guys have used in the past to know if you're ready? What are some things that you guys do in therapy sessions or in the moment when you're seeing things either not going so well, or, just some things that you guys think about when you're thinking about either pushing a client or not pushing a client? So that's my question this week. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.